Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Francis Entertainment Center. The next stories are Chin Up and Dog's Day Afternoon. Enjoy the video. At a costume convention, Timmy's favorite superhero is the main hero. Cosmo and Wanda drift along, and Timmy spazzes because they can't be seen in public. Luckily, they're allowed because others regard them as big-headed kids with floating costumes. During the convention, a fake Crimson Chin appears and makes a lousy entry. Timmy thinks it stinks and wishes for the real Crimson Chin to appear. So, one hero with everything on it bursts out the comic Timmy has. The Crimson Chin was apparently in a heroic battle between good and evil. He sees the other nerds dressed as his enemy, so he's about to rip through them like tissue, and Timmy then wishes his powers were gone. After that, Chin picks up his comic book and looks at it, realizing it reveals his secret identity, his secret fortress, and more. Timmy then explains he's a fictional character, like an imaginary friend, much like Chin's old imaginary friend, Eddie the furry gerbil. This strikes a blow to Chin's self-esteem and demands he goes back to his comic. Timmy obliges, only for Wanda to explain that he looked upset. Timmy didn't pay any mind until a convention news special explained that the new Crimson Chin comic just had him in a fetal position throughout this 32-page comic. Timmy then realizes if he doesn't get Chin back into action, it'll mean the end of Chin comics forever, so he wishes himself into the comic book to try and help. He finds the Chin in his secret identity, Charles the Hampton Indigo, and tries to bring him back to his senses by showing his origin, being bitten by a radioactive handsome actor, which causes Chin to grow to massive proportions and give him an amazing costume, but Chin decided to just go to bed because it was night on the next panel. Timmy then realizes he needed someone at his side to kick him into shape. What are they called again? Oh yeah, sidekicks. He then tells his fairies to turn into Clef the boy Chin Wonder. After defeating Spatula Woman, he notices Chin's arch enemy. The bronze kneecap has the mayor of Cincinnati tied up on a rocket shaped like a hairy leg. Clef tries to use the Chin signal to make Chin spring into action, but it doesn't work. So he tries to make him realize his purpose and motivation was to save real fictional people in real fictional danger. It works for a time, except for when All My Parents' Offspring comes in, so Clef decides to take on the kneecap himself, to no avail, resulting in him being tied up to the rocket in the mayor's stead. When the rocket lifts off, Clef thinks the Chin will save him, but he's having trouble with stupid ketchup. They think his fairies would save him, but they're having trouble with the stupid ketchup too. Clef finally gets to Chin by asking, what would Eddie the furry gerbil do? Then Chin springs back into action in an action-packed final sequence. Chin and Clef manage to defeat the bronze kneecap and save Cincinnati. Chin tells Clef bronze kneecap and saves Cincinnati. Chin tells Clef that he is now part of his continuity, stating every Chin needs a cleft. Eventually, Timmy, still in his cleft outfit, is wished back to the real world and wins best costume in the costume competition, resulting in 2 issues of Pretty Pony. Wanda declares Timmy to be a hero as Cosmo holds a hero sandwich, only to be thwarted by the stupid ketchup.